Before we jump into today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Many Realms. If you're looking for Magic the Gathering and Magic the Gathering related supplies, be sure to check out ManyRealms.com. I'll post a link to their website in the video description, so be sure to go check them out. What is up, everyone? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG, and I am very excited about today's video. Today we are going to do a Duskmourn Collector box battle. I'll just say, like, Duskmourn is probably one of my more favorite sets in the last few years. As somebody who enjoys horror movies, an avid horror movie watcher growing up and even still now, I enjoy is it like a funny hat set? Yeah, it probably qualifies as a funny hat set, but I really enjoy the tropes, the traditional horror movie tropes that are done in this. And I think the set is actually just a banger as well. Like, it's a little, I don't know, I'll stop short of saying like a little undervalued or underappreciated. I don't think that's necessarily the case. But just relative to the environment, it's one of the better limited environments I've ever played in. Like, I will draft this set all day, every day. It's that fun. It's right up there. Like, Final Fantasy was up there too, as far as like limited drafting environments are concerned. I enjoy the Fracture foils. I really think the Overlord cycle is very good. It has Verge lands. It's kind of hitting at all levels. Even got a couple uncommons in here that are like $4+ still. So I'm gonna be quiet now. We're gonna open some packs. Let's do this darn thing. All right. So battles. How's this thing work? We're cracking this thing open. We have 4 participants. Each one of them is going to get 3 packs. We're going to open those packs in rounds of 3, adding up the mana values for all the rares and all the mythics. And at the end of this thing, the person with the highest total mana value and the person with the lowest total mana value amongst rares and mythics are each going to get 1 additional Duskmourn Collector pack. In the event of a tie, we'll take the highest mana value mythic as the first tiebreaker, the highest mana value rare as the second tiebreaker. And if we need a third tiebreaker, perhaps we'll have some sort of jousting contest, maybe even a hiding contest. Or we'll simply go down the line with the highest mana value rare until we have a tie. No more. All right. 3 packs for Daniel B. 3 packs for D Money. 3 packs for Fox Darts. And 3 packs for Vincent Y. From me to you, patrons, thank you guys for being interested in opening this set. It's a set I really enjoy opening. So I'm glad that I have patrons with similar tastes. Like, I typically try to offer the things that would be of interest for me to open. And I'm just really fortunate that I have a lot of patrons that share similar tastes. So, all right, away we go. Daniel B, start us off. Had to remember, like, are these not pull tabs? Not pull tabs, all right. So fracture foils and texture foils are kind of the chase things. They're usually about like one of each per case on average. But other than that, like I said, good land cycle, really good mythics in here. Screaming Nemesis also in here. Kaido also in here. There is some good stuff. We're going to start off with Kona, Rescue Beastie. I think Kona's like, I mean, it's not like a sleeper rare per se, like, but there's some stuff now that it makes it so you can just tap your stuff, Convoke or whatever else. I think Kona's kind of good. Giggling Skitter Spike as the commander card. This is also a not bad card. Nashi, Searcher in the Dark, in that showcase treatment. That's a 2. Hey, how about a Kaido? That is Kaido in the showcase treatment, which is a 4 mana value. And this Kaido is really good. The Ninjutsu Kaido is very, very strong. Sees a lot of play. Pretty good card. Not a bad hit there, Daniel. And then we conclude with a Hedge. I also want to say Hedger Shredder because of Ledger Shredder, but it's just Hedge Shredder. Okay, well, let us add up some mana values here. We have 4, 8, 10, 14, and 18. I'll run that back. 4, 8, 10, 14, and 18 it is. Kaido, not a bad start there. Like I said, very, very good mythics at the top between the Overlord cycle. Bilmerk kind of leading the way. The Hauntwoods right behind. White One sees some play. That's Mistmoors. No bad ones, just some are a little bit better than others. Kaido, Screaming Nemesis. So those are kind of what we're on the lookout for. All right. D Money. You are going to start with an Omnivorous Flytrap. That is a 3. Followed by a Formless Genesis from the commander slot. That is also a 3. How about a second Flytrap? This time in the showcase. That paranormal frame. Kind of cool. It's a 3. There's a mythic. Oh, Meat Hook Massacre Part 2. As most things, as most sequels, especially with the 80s horror movies and whatnot, the sequel not usually quite as good as the original, but you know, it's still a card. It's a card that I like try to jam every once in a while, and it catches people by surprise in arena. But that's about the extent of it. Not seeing a lot of play outside of my 0.0001%. Still, fun card. And then Zimone All Questioning. So we will sleeve up the Meat Hook Massacre in that paranormal frame. Okay, so we have ourselves a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, and 16. Let me run that back. 3, 6, 9, 12, 16 it is. Let's face it, though, the original Meat Hook Massacre was busted. All right, Fox Darts to you. Couple packs, couple mythics. I know Meat Hook Massacre Part 2 is not bringing home the bacon, but it's also like one that I personally don't mind pulling. All right. Here we go. I should probably be looking for like, what is it? Untimely Malfunction and the Sheltered by Ghosts as foil. Oh, hello! I actually didn't mention. The namesake on our playmat here is Valgaboth Terror Eater. One of just my favorite cards in the set, and I don't know why I didn't mention it originally, but there you go. That is a 9 for a 9/9 flying lifelink with ward of sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. If a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. During your turn, you may play those cards exiled with Valgaboth. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. This card is so good. So good. Prime Reanimator target. How about another mythic too? How about Zimone Mystery Unraveler as a borderless commander mythic? And then we're into Unidentified Hovership, the Swarm Weaver, and we conclude with, oh, that's right, rooms. All right, so we do add both sides of the room here. We will do that. That is Dazzling Theater and Prop Room. But we have some sleeving to do first. Love the Valgaboth. Also still a pretty good hit also. How many more times can I say also? Okay. 9, 13, 17, 20, and 27. Let me run that back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 18, plus 9. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. 27. All right. 27 it is. That is a high mana total. There are rooms in here though, so rooms can definitely swing battles. All right, Vincent. Here we go. Little mountain. Start off with, how about a room? That's Central Elevator and Promising Stairs. That is a 7. Ooh, Ursine Monstrosity. Pretty good. See this a little bit on Vintage Cube. A 3 for mana value. Hedge Shredder. That is a 4. Followed by Enduring Curiosity. Very good cycle on the rare level. Curiosity sees a bunch of play. Red one sees a little bit of play, and the white one sees a bunch of play. That's Enduring Innocence, I think. And then the green one's some middling play. That's Vitality. But in Curiosity, definitely seeing a fair amount of play. Sweet card, extended art. Oh, hello. That is a pretty cool hit. That is a Japanese foil showcase. It is in Japanese. That is an Overlord of the Baelmerk, though, and that is the most expensive of the... that is the most expensive of... a lot of loss for words here. Of the Overlord cycle. I kind of typically get a little bit down on the Japanese language just because it does impact the value. But I will say, like, in the Duskmourn sets, of all of the sets, this feels the most at home to me as, like I don't know, just like those Japanese horror films, like, you know, The Grudge or things like that, where it's like those kind of monsters. This feels like it fits right in thematically as well. Love the card, and that's a really good hit there. All right. Blathering on. Can you tell I enjoy this set? 5, 9, 13, 16, plus 7, 23, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 18, plus 5, 23. Okay. Well, I don't hate that. And, all right, good start to this box. Daniel B, I should probably say mana values too. Daniel B with an 18. D Money in the low with a 16. Fox starts in the high with a 27, and Vincent right behind with a 23. Let us head into round 2. Overlord of the Baelmer. Very nice. I actually picked one of those up as a fracture foil. That's how much I dig those treatments. Okay. Dan will be back to you. We start off with an Island. We've seen no Verges so far. Leyline of Mutation, that's a 4. Followed by Redress Fate, which is a big old beefy 8 for mana value. Out of that commander slot. Ghostly Dancers as a 5. Grievous Wound also as a 5. This pack is not messing around for mana value. And then conclude with a Borderless Hushwood Verge at the end there. As I say all of that about mana value. Well, 5, 10, 18, 22. Run that back. 4 plus 8, 12. Plus 10, 22 it is. And that will bring you to an even 40. Like that Hushwood Verge. Very nice. All right. D-Money. Currently, at the start of this round, in the low with a 16. And pretty good prospects considering the next lowest just ripped a 22 for their mana value. Oh yeah, I forgot the Red Overlord is really good too. That's seeing more play now as well. Okay, especially with Edge of Eternities. How about a Mythic? I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because it's weird and funny, and I still kind of dig it. That is a second Meat Hook Massacre the second. Sure, pack foil this time. So you have the showcase version, now you have a pack foil version. That is a 4 mana value. Hey, you can build a deck now. If you didn't already, you have one now. You have 2 now. Phenomenon Investigators. Leyline of Hope. Ooh, Dazzling Theater and Prop Room again. That time in the borderless non-foil. And then conclude with the Mind Skinner as the borderless foil back there. Alright, so let us sleeve up your second Meat Hook Massacre. 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 7, 14, 18, 20, well, also 22. Okay. 4, 8, 12, 15, plus 7, 22 it is. And that will put you at a 38. Fox starts. You had the high with a 27. And that's still a very good starting point. But both of the people in front of you just put up 22s as their second pack, which is not small. A little Withering Torment in that showcase foil. Cool. Veteran Survivor, Norin, Shard Mage's Rescue. Pretty good. All right, here we go. We are going to start with a Restricted Office and Lecture Hall. That I think is the biggest mana value amongst the rooms because that's an 11. Restricted Office, Lecture Hall. That is an 11. Followed by They Came from the Pipes. That's a 5. Enduring Courage. Neat. Don't hate it. That's a 4. Followed by, hey, Rizzik and Needlehead. The name of the treatment escapes me, but I really enjoy it, where you can see the reflection of the monster in like the glasses of the person or whatever. Very cool. That is a 2. Also, this card like came out with a lot of hype. It hasn't seen as much play, but I still think it's a pretty good card. 2 for 2/2 has first strike on your turn, and then just whenever an opponent draws a card, Needlehead deals a damage to them. That's not bad value. And then conclude with our third Omnivorous Flytrap of this particular box. All right, so we have a 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 5, 16, 20, 22, and 25. Oh boy. 5, 9, 14, plus 11, 25. 25 it is. That's going to take you all the way up to a 52. All right, Vincent. You had a 23, which was a pretty high mana value total. after the first pack. And suddenly, it looks very middle. Which means if you have a low mana value pack, an exceedingly low would put you in prime position for the low itself. Here we go. Unnerving Grasp, pretty good card. All right. We start off with a room. It is a 7 mana value room because it is Roaring Furnace and Steaming Sauna. That is a 7. Suspended Sentence is a 4. Love me to suspend. Reluctant Role Model. That's a 2. Followed by another room. Central Elevator and Promising Stairs again. That's another 7. And a third room. This one's mythic though, right? No, this is. Oh no, it's not the mythic, but it is not the mythic room. But it's actually still a really good one. That is Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber, a card that does see a fair amount of constructed play. Well, you have 3 rooms. This is going to get interesting, but that's a really good hit. That's a borderless foil, Unholy Annex / Ritual Chamber. Okay, well that's a 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 7, that's a 15. I'm just going to do all the rooms first. So what did I say? 15 plus 7, 22. 23, 24. And plus 4, is that 28? I think it is. 8, 15, 22, 23, 24, 28. Wow. That's a 51. That puts you right back in contention for the high. In fact, this is going to get really interesting because both of the first 2 packs was like 22s. I was like, oh, that's fairly high and not high enough. Here we go. Daniel B with a 40. D-Money currently in the low with a 38. Fox starts in the high ever so slightly with a 51 because Vincent is right behind with a 51. Last round. Let's do this. I feel like some Verges are going to be playing some spoilers here with all these high mana value packs. Okay. Fear of Infinity. Here we go, Daniel. You're going to start off with a Valgavoth's Lair, or that. Valgavoth's Lair is a 0. In fact, I kind of feel like when you're chasing 12 mana value heading in the last pack, you're more or less shooting for the low, so 0 to start. Into the Pit, which is a 3. Followed by a Comeback Wrong, which is also a 3. You know what? I kind of forgot about this card. Maybe with all the ETBs, this is a card I should be playing more. Kona Rescue Beastie again. That's a 4. And conclude with an Extended Art Foil Leyline of Mutation. 4, 8, 11, 14. That actually seems fairly low in this format. 6 plus 8, 14 it is. It puts you at a 54 overall, which, barring the weirdest collation issues we've ever seen, will not be enough for the high. The question is, will it be enough for the low? Speaking of, D-Money, you have a 38 right now. You are currently below Daniel B by 16. So 16 would tie, 15 or below wins outright. Here we go. Skull Snap Nuisance. Fear of Abduction. Fear of being hunted. All right. We're going to start off with an Enduring Tenacity. Again, I really enjoy the Enduring cycle. I think they're all pretty good. Tenacity, no slouch also. That is a 4 for mana value. Followed by a Rendmaw Creaking Nest. That is a borderless commander mythic. That's cool. That's a 5. Followed by, wow, Overlord of the Mistmoors, which is a really good one as well. I enjoy this card quite a bit. That is a 7 for mana value. Still seeing a ton of constructed play in Unidex and just other token strategies. Pretty good. 7 for mana value. Not the lowest. In fact, it does not feel like you're on the pace for the low at this point. But let's see where this takes us. Gloom Lake Verge. This is the best of, in terms of value, I believe it is the most valuable of the Verges. Pretty good. And, oh boy. D-Money. Hello. That is a Fracture Foil Overlord of the Boiler Bilges, and it is English as well. That is Smoking. This looks so good. Oh my. Oh my. Listen, I don't know if you're going to end up getting there high or low, but Fracture Foil Overlord, any color, is really cool. And that is, I'm a little jealous, I'm not going to lie. I love these. I think they look so good. Well, I've been distracted. Let's see what we have for mana values, I guess. 6 plus 7, that's 13. Plus, oh, I have 2 more mythics to sleeve up. Let that drama build up. Yeah. I'm so distracted. 6 plus 5, that's 11 plus 7, 18, 22. 6, 5, 11, 18, 22 it is. That was a heck of a pack. It's going to put you at a 60. Barring something really wild, will not be, you're already out of the low. Barring something really wild, won't be enough for the high, but I'm going to say all things considered, you're fine. Ooh, congrats on that. Love that hit. All right. I love Duskmourn. Duskmourn loves me. Fox starts. You have a 52. You and Vincent kind of battling it out for the high at this point. You're up by 1. That's the scoreboard right there. Oh, Arabella. Also a really strong uncommon. Stay hidden. Fear falling. All right. First rare mythic is a rare. It is Reluctant Role Model. That is a 2. Followed by a Demonic Covenant. That is a 6 from that commander slot. Split Up. Still a pretty good card. That's a 3. Mythic. There's that mythic room I thought I hit earlier when we hit the Unholy Annex. That is Funeral Room and Awakening Hall. And that is that's an 11. That's an 11 for mana value. Also a pretty good card. And then you conclude, that's a Borderless Foil Doomsday Excruciator, and that is 6 more black pips to add to your total. Pretty good. All right, well, let's see where we land here. So we have ourselves an 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 6, 17, 20, 26, 27, 28. That's a pretty solid way to go. 2, 6, it's 8, 11, 17, 28 it is. Outstanding. That brings you to an 80 mana value. I kind of forgot how insane this set was with mana values, not going to lie. All right, Vincent. Oh, come on, last pack. All right, you're 51. You are now chasing 29. You would need a 30 to win outright. You pretty much have no shot at the low. Never say never, but it would be, again, an extremely weird collation. Hey, Sheltered by Ghosts. Finally. $4 or $5 uncommon. Here we go. 30 to win outright. 29 goes into tie mode. The Jolly Balloon Man, a 3. Followed by another mythic off of that commander slot. This is our third of the commander mythics. That is Aminatu. That is a 4. Followed by Vagava Slayer. That is a 0. Probably going to cost you your chance at the high. Marina Vendrell, which is Wooburg. That's a 5. And then concluding with a Demonic Council. Actually, not a bad little pull at the end there. Demonic Council in the Paranormal Frame rare. Vincent, I think you're going to come up a little short. You're just going to have to settle for the Japanese foil showcase Overlord of the Bale Merc. I know. Life is rough. 4, 5, 6, 11, still 11, and 14. That's actually one of the lower packs that we had. Crazy. 3 plus 5, that's 8, 10, 14 it is, yeah. That will put you at a 65. Final results here. Actually, Unholy Annex, not bad too. Man, this box was great. This box was really good. All right, Daniel B. holds on in the low with a 54. D-Money with a 60. Fox starts in the high with an 80. But what a box. You got that staring you down when you're staring you in the face as polls. That's pretty good. All right, Daniel B. You have the low, you have the honors. This video definitely going longer than I intended, but tends to happen when we pull good stuff. Because then I start to gush over the cards for the set. It's all downhill from there. Withering Torment again. Okay. Here we go. Doomsday Excruciator. Pack foil that time. Followed by another Ursine Monstrosity. Good card. Entity Tracker in that Paranormal frame. Mythic. Ooh, hey, Borderless Mythic. I don't see this card in Borderless too often. That is Walk-in Closet and Forgotten Cellars. Also a pretty good card. Mythic Room. And then conclude with a Leyline of the Void in the extended art foil. A card that I suspect feels like it's going to see... I mean, it already sees like a decent amount of play, but if in the current constructed, if graveyard decks just become a real prominent thing, that card's going to be back on the menu. All right, Fox Darts. Your hard-earned 80 mana value to get you the W for the high. Here we go. We start with the Swarm Weaver into Sadistic Shell Game. Waltz of the Rage. Another Swarm Weaver. Yeah, all right, come on. Can we do a little better? And Valgavoth's Onslaught. A true S-tier pick in draft. Not as great outside of draft. All right, well, there we go. That's going to do it for me today. What a box, huh? What a box. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button for me. And by all means, drop me some comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much, everybody. And be well.